Right after a meal, blood sugar can surge quietly, long before your body gives you any warning at all. The problem is not just sugar in food. It is how fast that sugar floods your blood.
The most important minutes often begin after the meal ends, when blood sugar quietly reaches its peak.
What if your most harmless-looking meal is the exact moment your metabolism loses control for an hour?
Tapping the screen reveals the post-meal data. This uptick indicates how the body is processing the carbohydrates.
After eating, your body needs to move sugar out of blood and into cells efficiently and smoothly.
It is not only the spike that matters, it is how long that spike stays elevated. When you sit right after eating, your muscles stop helping, and blood sugar often lingers higher. The most dangerous part of the meal may not be dinner itself, but what you do next.
3 simple actions after eating can change the entire shape of your glucose response.
This is the moment most people waste, and the moment your body is begging you to use. After you eat, insulin goes to work, but your habits decide whether that work becomes easier or harder. Your muscles are the biggest glucose sink in your body, but only when you ask them to work. If you do nothing, the spike keeps writing the story. Movement is how you interrupt it. That heavy, foggy feeling after eating is sometimes less about laziness and more about unstable glucose.
The goal is not perfection. It is giving your body a smaller spike and a faster recovery.
Taking a brisk walk after your evening meal is an effective way to lower blood glucose, helping the line trend downward.
You do not need a perfect workout. You need to catch the spike while it is still forming. Even a short walk can help, because active muscles begin pulling glucose out of the bloodstream. The sweet spot is often that first hour or so, when the post-meal rise is still developing. Every step creates demand, and demand is what gives extra circulating glucose somewhere useful to go. Maintaining a consistent pace is key. This practical hallway walk provides the necessary movement for a healthy routine. The fastest way to change tomorrow's numbers may begin the second you set your fork down.
After a wonderful meal, even a short walk can make a difference, supporting a better recovery.
The benefits of a post-lunch stroll are clear. A steady pace helps keep blood sugar levels smooth and predictable.
You do not have to push hard. You only need enough movement to wake the muscles up. Think smooth and steady, because a sustainable walk is more useful than a dramatic burst you cannot repeat.
Sometimes the biggest difference between a spike and a smoother curve is a pair of shoes. The evening walk is a quiet ritual, much like the slow, steady progress we see here. The body does not care whether the movement happens outside. It cares that the movement happens.
Your own numbers teach faster than theory, because feedback turns movement into a meaningful habit. Same meal, same person, different choice. Sometimes your blood sugar story changes with the very next step. If you cannot walk, the second thing is to activate your muscles before the spike fully settles in.
Even a few minutes of gentle heel raises, like these, can activate your calf muscles, boosting circulation and maintaining strength. As you can see, activating the calf muscles helps shuttle glucose directly out of the bloodstream and into the cells.
Sit, stand, repeat.
Sitting right after eating can trap the spike in place. Standing up is how you begin to disrupt it. Even brief movement breaks can help, especially when the alternative is staying glued to the chair. A few stairs, a short hallway, a little marching in place. Your body counts all of it. Even cleanup helps, because the body benefits anytime you stay upright and keep muscles working. You are not trying to become exhausted. You are trying to become metabolically active right on time. Your kitchen can either become the place you spike or the place you quietly take control.
The third thing is simple. Choose water first and create a pause before adding anything else.
Adding a sweet drink after a meal can stretch the spike longer, even when dinner already did enough.
Staying hydrated and refreshed doesn't need added sugar. It's about reducing the load naturally. Sometimes the smartest move is not instant denial, but giving the urge 10 quiet minutes to fade. What feels like one harmless treat can become the second wave that keeps blood sugar elevated longer. If caffeine makes you run hotter, stacking it immediately after food may not be your best move. The point is not punishment. It is learning whether your next habit cools the spike or feeds it. When you track the pattern, You stop treating blood sugar like mystery and start treating it like feedback. After eating, the body gives you a window, and small choices inside that window can change everything. Once people track their meals for even a week, the same troublesome pattern usually reveals itself. That single number on the meter is really just a snapshot of a much bigger, ongoing story. It is rarely one meal that causes harm. It is the slow accumulation of spikes over months and years. Two people can eat the exact same plate and end up with two completely different glucose stories. What if the ride your blood sugar takes after dinner is more extreme than you have ever realized? The moment the plates are cleared is exactly when your next decision starts to matter most.
A moment of decision. Will I choose the comfort of the chair and watch my levels rise, or step out into the day?
Small reminders build the habit, and the habit is what eventually builds a healthier pattern. Every single step after a meal quietly works in your favor, even when you don't feel it happening. What if the biggest spike of your day could be shrunk down by something as small as a short walk? This does not need to feel like exercise. It only needs to feel like gentle, intentional movement. You do not need thousands of steps right away. Consistency matters more than any single number.
As we age, comfort becomes key. Notice how her glucose levels remain steady, allowing her to enjoy every moment of her walk.
Same dinner, same night, but two very different outcomes depending on what happens right after.
The data clearly indicates a shift in market trends, requiring us to adapt our strategy accordingly. Pay close attention to the variables.
Larger muscle groups pull more glucose from the blood, which is exactly why standing matters so much. Even light stretching keeps circulation active, which gently supports the same glucose clearing process. The easiest habits are the ones you tuck inside something you were already going to do anyway. Your chair is comfortable, but comfort right after eating is not always working in your favor. If standing feels difficult, even simple seated leg movements can still help engage the muscles. Notice how she maintains control. This gentle movement helps optimize nutrient uptake without stressing the body.
Carrying groceries from the car to the kitchen, a simple task that requires steady, functional movement.
Light physical activity, such as tending to your garden after a meal, can significantly improve glucose stability.
Your living room can quietly become one of the most powerful tools you have after every meal. Choosing water over a sweetened drink removes an entirely unnecessary load right after eating. Reading the label for a few extra seconds can completely change the outcome of the next hour. Every spoonful of dissolved sugar becomes one more thing your body has to process after the meal. A simple flavor boost in your water can make the healthier choice feel just as satisfying.
One of these choices quietly works against you, and the other quietly works for you.
When tempted by a treat, try the 10-minute delay. Set a timer, step away, and often the craving will pass.
Sometimes the craving fades before you even finish the glass, simply because you gave it time.
In the quiet of the evening, a simple choice: soda or water. Health often begins with these small decisions. By hydrating first, the family allows their bodies to register fullness, demonstrating a key principle of intentional consumption.
What if the most powerful tool you have after a meal is simply choosing to wait a little longer? These three habits are not separate tricks. Together, they form one simple after-meal system. Consistency is everything. A short walk, a good stretch, and always remember to hydrate. A simple checklist on your refrigerator can turn intention into something you actually remember to do.
After just 1 week of small choices, many people notice their numbers already behaving differently.
What starts as a single small habit can quietly turn into weeks of meaningful, measurable change.
What once felt like an effort eventually becomes something your body simply expects to do.
When a habit becomes automatic, it stops requiring willpower and starts requiring almost nothing at all. Eventually, these choices stop feeling like discipline and start feeling like simply who you are. Compare the first week to the fourth, and the difference often speaks louder than any explanation. One dinner, repeated with the right habits, can quietly shape an entirely different long-term path.
The numbers were stable, and in the quiet understanding between doctor and patient, there was a profound sense of relief.
Consistency rarely feels exciting, but it is usually the quiet force behind lasting change.
The same street, the same porch lights, but now a completely different relationship with the walk.
True influence isn't forced. It's the gentle encouragement to walk forward, together, towards the light.
One small habit, repeated by one person, can quietly ripple further than you might ever expect. A steady glucose line at the end of the day often reflects a much steadier day overall. Walk a little, stand a little, hydrate a little, and your body handles the rest remarkably well. You now have the first layer of this system in place, but there is still more to uncover ahead. Real change rarely announces itself. It simply shows up quietly in how you feel day to day. What if the real question was never about willpower, but about knowing exactly when to act? When a habit becomes part of a family's rhythm, it stops being a rule and becomes a tradition. The best outcome is often the quiet one, where nothing dramatic ever needs to happen at all.
Taking care of yourself is the first step. It's a simple habit, passed down through the years, to keep you strong. Sustainable moderation isn't about restriction. It's about making balanced choices that you can truly enjoy, like sharing a dessert before a leisurely walk.
What if lasting control was never about eating less, but about responding better after you eat? Managing my health used to be a burden. Now, it's just a part of who I am. My new normal. When healthy habits are spoken about casually, they spread more easily than any formal advice ever could. The most successful habits eventually become boring, and boring is often exactly what stability looks like. The same reading that once caused worry can eventually be met with steady, informed calm. Stretch these small choices across a year, and the cumulative difference becomes impossible to ignore.
The journey wasn't always easy, but looking back, every step was worth it. He finally felt truly free.
There is a quiet kind of pride in simply doing the small things you said you were going to do. When your numbers stay steady over time, that steadiness becomes its own kind of quiet reassurance. What started as 3 small actions after a meal can quietly open the door to something much bigger. What started as a simple habit soon grew beyond the boundaries they knew, expanding their world one sunrise at a time.
Small after-meal habits often lead people to naturally reconsider what goes onto the plate as well.
When you make healthy choices throughout the day, it shows in the stability of your night. A peaceful night means a better tomorrow.
Even the way you wake up can shift once your evenings stop working against your body's rhythm. Every part of this story connects, from the dinner plate all the way to how well you sleep at night.
The contrast was clear. Where there was once worry, now there was only calm, a quiet confidence in the familiar surroundings.
An unremarkable appointment is sometimes the most meaningful outcome anyone could ask for.
Sometimes the deepest relief comes not from a cure, but from simply staying ahead of a problem. The real victory was never complicated. It was simply choosing these 3 things, meal after meal. When an entire family shares this rhythm, the habit becomes stronger than any single person's willpower.
What you learn about your own body can quietly become a gift you pass on to someone else.
The potluck is finished, but the community remains. This shared walk is more than just exercise. It's a collective habit that builds belonging. Zoom out far enough, and months of small choices reveal a remarkably steady, encouraging trend. And the person staring back may already be steadier than when this story began. Remember that first quiet spike at the very beginning? This is what happens when nothing gets ignored. That heavy afternoon fog does not have to be permanent once the after-meal window is used well. Comfort waited, but the journey called louder. Their decision was finally settled. Every scene in this story was really building toward one simple, connected way of eating and living. Eventually, you start planning the after-meal moment even before the meal itself has begun. Being ready before the meal even starts removes the need to decide anything in the moment.
For me, it comes down to this: staying hydrated and making sure I get my walk in every day. It feels effortless now.
When 2 people commit to the same small habits together, consistency becomes far easier to sustain.
This story does not really end here. It simply continues. one ordinary meal at a time. Across countless homes, this same small choice is quietly making a meaningful difference every single day. 3 simple things, repeated with care, quietly became the foundation of a steadier, calmer life. What if the calmest, most beautiful version of your day is simply a steady, unremarkable line? Every person in this story simply chose 3 small things, again and again, until it became who they are. When the routine becomes this quiet, it usually means the hardest part is already behind you.
Walk, stand, drink water, repeat.
None of this needed to be complicated. It only needed to be done consistently, one meal at a time. If these 3 habits made sense to you, there is likely more here that can genuinely help you too. There is always more to understand about how your body responds to the choices you make daily.
If you found this helpful, the next video goes even deeper.